Well, welcome, Nightbreed. Thanks for coming on.
Well, thanks for having us.
Cool. So yeah, 2019. You guys got together. How did everyone meet? How did this thing get started?
Yeah. Well, you start.
Fiona and I were in a previous band together, and we had started looking to start a new project, and so we started playing with Pete, and we were just jamming, and eventually we got serious and looked for a bass player and couldn't find one, and then I went to a festival here, like a local festival, Mojo Burning, and struck up a conversation drunk with Jimmy.
Very drunk.
And yeah, eventually we kind of all hooked up, and we just hit it off. So yeah, we've been at it since then. Obviously it's gotten more serious as we've gone along.
Oh, cool. So which bands did you guys bond with? What's the sort of bands or albums that you all sort of dig together?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is.
We're pretty eclectic. I think we've all got a different kind of taste. I suppose there's a lot of bands that we still kind of all vibe over that kind of cross those boundaries, like a lot of that kind of stoner rock and, the Caiuses of the world and Orange Goblins and stuff like that. Like, I think that's kind of something that we always all kind of meshed over.
Yeah. All in Witches.
And then, but yeah, pretty all over the place, man. Really, like, I had a bit of a blues background myself as well, so there's a lot of that in there as well. So I think that's kind of maybe half of where our sound comes from. I think because everyone's got a bit of a different background, so
yeah,
it's been pretty cool. Cool little.
Like, everyone's diverse in terms. Jimmy was a blues player. I traditionally, I suppose, sung blues. But I was a metalhead, and Pete has been in a whole bunch of bands that have sort of been in Brisbane history, all really heavy, like black metal. So we kind of all come at it from our different genres, and yeah, we didn't really sort of put any rules around what we made. We just made it, and then went, what does this sound like?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Get that out.
So has the Automaton? Have you guys played shows? I mean, getting together 2019 right before, COVID and stuff. Were you able to play shows before all that happened?
Yeah,
we lucked out. I think we managed to get kind of started just before the shit hit the fan, I suppose, which was good. And we played. I think our first show we played was Wallapalooza down the coast. So that was a pretty good one for us. Yeah, so I think we managed to get a few under our belt before everything went to hell. But we'll play as much as we can. But we've got a few under our belt now, so it's been going really well actually.
Yeah. I mean, this year's been hard with all the lockdowns, so we've only played 2 shows this year.
Yeah.
We played with Astro Death earlier this year, and then we played a gig at the zoo. That was amazing. So, but yeah, it's been a series of cancellations, I suppose, for everyone. Like, we've had 5 cancellations in a row due to COVID.
Yeah. Where does the Automaton fit? Like, what kind of bills do you guys get put on? Like, what sort of other bands are you playing with generally?
That's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's something we've always kind of struggled with, I think, because we've got a lot of different influences. So we've been on, kind of those bills, like Dave said, like with Astro Death and some of those heavier bands as well. So we kind of sell a little bit into the metal scene, but then also, I mean, we've got shows coming up when we're playing Mature Creek Blues Festival coming up. So I mean, we can kind of cross those boundaries a little bit. So it's been a tough one to kind of to pigeonhole us into, but. It's again, I guess, like our taste and our style, it's eclectic as hell. So it's all over the place. We kind of get thrown left and right.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. It means that we can pivot around a little bit. But I mean, given that we've all sort of played in heavy bands before, that's been the natural fit for us in terms of scene. But yeah, I mean, we're playing Mitchell Creek. Like, this is incredible. It's going to be a huge festival, and we
by no means metal. It's so different, but
yeah,
that's not a bad thing, being able to cross that thing and play different shows. That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I read something about a crazy party experience you guys had playing a party or something. Do you want to tell us about that?
A crazy party.
Surely.
Was it the launch, or was it when we played the Gutterfly?
Oh, there's a few different ones, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, pick one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, we played a couple shows. Like we put on our first single. We I guess it was during that time. It was very hard to like set up gigs and shit. So we we
put on our own gig.
We put on our own gig in literally in a lounge room. And that was mental. We had stacks of people, and yeah, that was a hell of an experience. We did that twice actually. And that was really, really cool. And then we played some other little house parties that there's another band getting around Brisbane, Gutterfire, that we play with quite a lot. We've played some house parties with those guys as well. But
yeah, they're amazing.
Plenty of crazy house parties. I think it's easier than booking a venue, but yeah, it's good. And you know, there's no security guards holding you back, so you can get a bit wild.
Yeah, like when we played one of the house parties, we had not moderated how much we drank before.
No, not at all.
So by the time we got on, we were all very drunk, and it culminated in people falling off chairs and laying on the ground and playing. So it was a lesson learned early in.
Learn your limits, kids.
Cool. So August 2020, you put out Receiver. What's the writing process like? Like, are you guys, with that one in particular, you working together, or is someone sort of bringing everything?
Yeah, well, Receiver itself was written by Pete and I. It came together pretty quickly. It was like a 15-minute job. It was just one of those lucky things, you know. So it's kind of been a mixed bag. Like some of the music Pete had already written, and he guitar-wise, and then he'd play the riff and I'd sing over it, and we'd kind of build everything around that. So that's kind of how we've worked. But then, you know, Jimmy came along and we've written stuff together, and so it's a mixed bag, really. It's so hard to pin down like a surefire creative process, because it seems to change and morph all the time. And as long as we sort of set out with the idea of, as long as we're being authentic, whatever it happens to sound like is the right way. So we don't really have any rules, I guess, around how we create.
Yeah, it's been I mean, I brought things, they've had things. Yeah, it's been pretty give and take, which has been cool.
Yeah.
Different way to do it, but it's good. It works well for us. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
I read too that when recording the album coming up, you slept at the studio and was over like a crazy 5 days working hard. Yeah. How was that? Like, that must have been pretty mental.
That was crazy, actually. That was a really, really cool experience for us. So just be able to book that time, we really just wanted to do that and really just get in that headspace and just do nothing but the album. And the idea of doing that was really appealing, I think, to all of us, because it's a pretty old school way of doing things, I think. And that was pretty special, actually. We got some pretty cool songs. Our latest single we just released, we wrote in the studio. So, well, we had it, but we kind of cemented it in the studio. That was awesome. And yeah, literally slept in the studio and drank 1,000 beers. So it was a good time, man. And we had a great time, actually. So it was really cool.
It was good fun. And like, I actually very literally slept on the floor of the studio one night. And I guess, like, similar to what Jimmy's saying, it was just about creating a pressure cooker where we had nothing to do but create, and we were just in it, you know. We're in it. We went to sleep thinking about it. We listened to what we had done that day. We got up, we tried again. Like, it was just being hard into it instead of slipping in and out, or doing it when you can, or on weekends, or whatever. So hopefully you can hear that congruency in the album, you know. Yeah, I think we got 8 songs down in those 5 days.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a good effort.
I'm talking about the latest single, No Exit. You got that video with the black and white hitchhiking, all that sort of stuff. Who came up with the narrative for that? Did you guys all kind of have a chat and come up with that, or is there someone from outside the band put that together?
That was me.
Deja.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I came up with that. That's the first time I've ever done anything like that as well. So, you know, it's all a part, like a discovery, because we're all new to this. So we just have a crack at it. And yeah, so I wrote the storyline for the clip to sort of go with the concept of the song. And yeah.
Yeah, I think concept's always been a really big thing for us. Even when I first came in, it was something that probably struck me the most, because they had a few songs kind of established, and there was always this greater thing. Like there was always something that we were trying to get to, and it was always well thought out, well planned, and that kind of came from Deja and Fee. They really had a big drive for that, and that was really cool to come into. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess like we do have a creative direction. I mean, we try to be fluid within it, but we are quite certain about what it is that we set out to achieve together creatively. So yeah, it is intentional, I suppose.
Well, tell us about the concept then for No Exit. What's the, what's the concept?
So the song itself, I suppose it sounds like it's somebody traveling on a highway, but it's kind of a double entendre, like a metaphor for what it's like in the digital world. So I guess now that we kind of live in this age where everyone's connected digitally, it negates human connection. So it's just about that person, like you can hear in the song itself and the lyrical content that somebody's seeking, like looking for connection, seeking desire. So I guess the clip just tried to tie that together, but looking at it literally. So she's very literally hitchhiking in and out of situations and people and looking for long-lasting connection. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, that's cool. So where's the album at the moment? The Exit comes out October 8th. Is it mastered, everything's done, or are you still sort of tweaking it a little bit?
She's ready. She's ready, Captain. She's in the barrel, ready to fire. So it's been a long waiting game, but I'm sure the payoff will be worth it.
It's fully ready. Now we just line everything up and we're just doing the last little pieces for it to come out with it, and it'll be out October 8th.
Pretty cool.
That's cool. The album cover artwork and like your previous stuff, it's got that kind of color scheme, the sort of brown, gold, red thing. Is that something you're gonna stick with? I like it. I think it's cool. Like, is that an Automaton thing now? Like that sort of color?
Patent it. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Like that's probably more of a question for you, Dej. But we've always really tried to stick to our guns with the theme and try and make everything line up and be meaningful. And it's all, again, I think the album itself kind of really touches on that interconnectedness of everything, and to have everything that we do and everything that we release to be interconnected in itself makes sense for us. So I think that's kind of the main theme. She can probably say it better than me, but...
I mean, the artist is actually friends with Fiona, and he's incredible. And I guess when we set out to it, because we are generally a conglomerate of all different styles of art and music, we could have looked like a heavy band, but we just decided not to go down that path. And so despite the fact that a lot of our music's heavy, you wouldn't know it by looking at the art. And I guess the art itself is a standalone piece that you can, observe or have thoughts about that doesn't even really correlate to the sound that you're hearing. But each component of it is a sequence right through to the album art. It is intended to be conceptual beginning to end. So, yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you got shows booked for October, November. Fingers crossed, you can actually get to them and everything. Have you guys been able to... Yeah. Have you been able to rehearse and that sort of stuff? Like, is Brisbane generally, lockdown free at the moment?
We actually just came from Jam, so we did that today. So we're pretty kind of counting our lucky stars, man. Everything's been pretty good here.
Yeah.
As opposed to most of the other country, the rest of the country, I should say. But we've been pretty lucky. But we got a lot of stuff booked, a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
But whether or not that's going to happen is another whole story that no one really knows the answer to. But it's still exciting. I mean, I guess we're just going to manage our expectations where you can, and just be happy that we're being asked and people are trying to do this, and we're just trying to support the scene where we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have like 6 or 7 shows booked from September through to the end of November. So we're stoked. It's actually kicking off next month with Mitchell Creek, and that's a really big deal for us because it's a big festival, like a big local festival. and we will be playing on the Friday night. So we're really excited, you know. It's a big deal. So hopefully all the other shows will go ahead. They're just around our local area. You kind of have to rethink things with COVID, you know. I think a lot of bands have pulled out of interstate gigs so often that they know now only to book in their like local areas or their like greater local areas. So and it's great for the local scene. It's really bolstering the local scene. So hopefully COVID doesn't put a pin in that.
I mean, we're crossing everything to get over the border, but I just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we are trying to get down to Lismore at the end of October, but
Yeah.
COVID permitting, we'll be there. Yeah, we'll see, really. It's hard.
Are there any more single releases planned off the exit?
Interesting question.
Yeah, that is an interesting question, actually. Not typically, I suppose. Like, we've got 4 songs out that we've launched over the past 12 months, and I think at this stage, oversaturation might kick in if we try and put too much out. We want to kind of hold our cards until the release.
Yeah.
But we might look at doing, like, you know, some launches after that. But for the time being, I think No Exit will really be our key holder for the album, and then from there, who knows?
Yeah, we're kind of working on something secret.
Something's going on, but
something is afoot.
Very good. All right, cool. Look, good luck. Hopefully, you know, you hit all those stages that you've planned to, and it's good luck with the album and everything. And thanks for your time.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man. Good talk to you.
I tell you, there's no exit. Ghosting down the highway looking for my car.